Hello dear listeners. In this video, I am going to talk about cross-cultural communication. Have you ever, in a moment of frustration, wondered why one culture does things this way, while another culture does things that way? Have you ever wondered how much time and money cross-cultural difficulties could be costing you? Recent studies have shown that up to half of cross-cultural business reassignments end prematurely due to cultural frustration, and that very quick, simple projects involving global workforces can become slow-moving, frustrating experiences for all involved. Don't let cultural misunderstanding get in the way of your success. Culture is a group which shapes a person's values and identity. Cultural identities can stem from the following differences: race, ethnicity, gender, class, religion, country of origin, geographic region. With so many different cultures in the world, language is a barrier for many people, especially healthcare providers. If you cannot speak to a patient or even a doctor, that will cause major problems. Another barrier would be if the patient cannot have certain procedures done because of their religion. Doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers have to be respectful of the patient's beliefs and wishes. Communication is the sending of message from a source to a receiver with the least possible loss of meaning. The speaker sends a messages that is in some kind of code. The listener decodes the messages and responds thereby giving the speaker feedback. Communication is the heart of medical practice. More than 70% of information on which physicians base their diagnoses come from the history and physical exam. One of the biggest barriers to high-quality healthcare for millions of US residents has nothing to do with medicine. It has to do with language. The concept of high and low context culture relates to how an employee's thoughts, opinions, feelings and upbringing affect how they act within a given culture. For example, North America and Western Europe are generally considered to have low context cultures. This means that businesses in these places have direct, individualistic employees who tend to base decisions on facts. This type of business person wants specifics noted in contracts and may have issues with trust. High-context cultures are the opposite in that trust is the most important part of business dealings. There are areas in the Middle East, Asia and Africa that can be considered high-context. Organizations that have high-context cultures are collectivist and focus on interpersonal relationships. Individuals from high-context cultures might be interested in getting to know the person they are conducting business with in order to get a gut feeling on decision-making. They may also be more concerned about business teams and group success rather than individual achievement. This is an example on how different culture has different values and beliefs which make them to have various of understanding diseases. Woman with multiple admissions for congestive heart failure accompanied by markedly elevated blood pressure, who believes her faith, not medications, will treat hypertension. Woman dying of metastatic breast cancer who wants chemotherapy is an example of being strong and maintaining faith. Therefore, in a nutshell, in order to have a cultural competency and effective client-physician relationship, one has to understand the culture and respect other culture.